How is it going, Exile? So it has been like more than 5 months since I posted like a build or like an update or anything, and it has been like an eternity. But you know, there you have it. We're going again, and this is the first look at my build. And I'm playing Spell Totems on Infernalist. So just keep in mind, this is not a full build guide yet. It's more like a build showcase where I'm quickly showing what I'm doing. I have the planners in the description down below so you can read it up. I have an energy shield version, and I just switched basically to the, you know, Mind Over Matter, Eldritch Battery, mana scaling version, but I'm, you know, still far away from having it perfectly optimized. But, you know, it's clearing like tier 9 to tier 10 maps right now without any effort. I don't really have problems with bosses, so I'm going to push it to tier 15 probably tonight on stream. And I'm excited to get this build scaling into, you know, some crazy crit scaling. I think there's like enormous potential for this once I get some currency to get some gear on. And also, obviously, I'm still missing skill points. But, you know, I don't want to drag this out to 4. It's really just a showcase. So we're going to look at the, you know, skills, the items, and the passive tree. I also have one section at the very end of the video where I show you doing this with really shitty gear. So literally, I took my level 40 gear when coming out of the campaign, and that all worked perfectly fine. I was able to, you know, push into maps with just not any problems at all. So this build is really, really easy to play on a budget. You don't have to overpay for anything if you want to play this. But anyway, you know, make sure to check the planner, the Mobalytics planner, and follow the build. Also make sure to like and subscribe and show off to the screen if you have any questions. But that's anything for now, so let's start with the actual build showcase, and we're going to start with the skill gems. Right, so let's start looking at the skills. So first of all, we have Discipline here. So this basically comes from our Scepter, which we right now have to use to fix our Spirit. Ideally, I would want to fix my Spirit without using a Scepter, but it's not possible at this stage of the build, at least. So what it does, it gives you Discipline, which basically gives you 250 maximum energy shield, which basically just gets converted into mana. So this is pretty much the best Scepter you can get for this build. And then let's just start directly with Spell Totem. So if you don't have a 5-link or 5-socket yet, that's not a huge deal, honestly. You can either remove Pierce or, you know, Execute. That should work just fine. But I recommend getting this 5-link, or 6-socket, 5-socket, whatever you want to call this. Get this first, because this is the most important one to have an extra link, because you're basically losing a link and you have to use Urgent Totems, so you're basically losing 2 links here, right? So yeah, we just play Spark with 20% quality, and nothing much to say about that. Projectile Acceleration 3. PS2 is really, you don't have to do it, but I would recommend getting for PS2. You could also just get for raw damage. You just have to, you know, feel how you like it best. Then we have Urgent Totems 3. So totem placement speed is really, really slow. Like, it doesn't really work without this, and we don't have access to the totem placement speed right now. So I would highly recommend using this. And last but not least, we have the Execute 3, because we are on low life, because we are using the Coward's Legacy here. And then the rest is pretty much standard stuff. We just have Elemental Weakness with Heightened Curse, Prolonged Duration, and Cursed Ground. And I'm using Efficiency because this build is crazy mana hungry and I haven't completely solved mana yet. Then Frostbomb basically for exposure, Potent Exposure, Prolonged Duration, Magnified Area 2, and again Efficiency, so it's, you know, a little bit cheaper. Make sure you have your weapon sets properly. So the Spell Totems are weapon set 1, Elemental Weakness weapon set 2, Frostbomb weapon set 2, Mana Tempest weapon set 1. For Mana Tempest, I just have it with Efficiency. So you can use it. It's gonna increase the damage of the totems. I did not completely verify that it actually works, but it looks like it at least. So as you can see, you have like 9,500 here. And if I drop a Mana Tempest, it goes to like 12. So I assume it does something. And, you know, the playstyle is you basically just walk and drop totems, right? And once in a while you just drop a Mana Tempest when you need some more damage. But don't excessively cast after dropping a Mana Tempest, because you're just going to burn yourself out of mana. So that's also important. Do not quality the Mana Tempest, because it should run out in 2 seconds. You don't want to last this for 4 seconds, because it's just going to burn too much of your mana. So I would not quality this. Then we have Archmage. You will obviously want to quality this, and this has to have like the highest possible level, obviously. This gives a huge amount of damage. And last but not least, Mana Remnants. They really, really help with the mana sustain here, and I run them with Remnant Potency 3, Harmonic Remnants 2, and Vitality 1 right now. Vitality 1 you don't really need. I just, you know, want to have like 4 totems basically, and I just have the extra spirit. I'm probably going to remove this fairly soon for, you know, something else. I don't know yet what. But yeah, you don't want to use Vitality ideally here. Right, taking a look at the gear. So I'm using a locked weapon set for 1 and 2 because if you use like a chiming stuff, for example, for Sigil of Power in weapon set 2, what happens is if you swap away from the scepter, basically 2 of your totems gonna despawn. So that's why I'm kind of right now not using Sigil of Power. I just have it locked to 1 weapon set here. So for your wand, you basically want to have, you know, as much spell damage as possible. Some cast speed is nice, lightning spells are nice. And you want to put damage, extra cold damage in just for the extra chill and freeze. It helps a little bit. So you can just put anything else in. Obviously, the +1 spell skill rune would be the best, but I don't have that yet. And for your scepter, you really just want to have a lot of spirit with mana and mana regeneration. All the other stuff is like completely bonus. Again, you want to have a stoic scepter for discipline because this basically just gives you extra mana. And I put this rune of the Idol of the Martyr in here. This basically removes the area of effect, the presence area of effect from your aura here, but it doesn't really matter because, you know, you're basically just self-buffing, so this gives you like a little bit more magnitude, so a little bit more energy shield, which gets converted into mana at the end. For your helmet, pretty much, you know, just get maximum life, mana, resistances, whatever, like everything is fine here. Same goes for gloves, maximum life, mana, resistances. Boots, same story. Movement speed, maximum life, mana, resistances. So, you know, as you can see, I don't have anything special. Just focus on, like, a good amount of energy shield, right? For your chest piece, you want to focus on high energy shield, as high as possible. And, you know, just get some spirit on it. You know, everything on top of it's knight, but as you can see, like, this is not the greatest armor. It's just high energy shield with, like, some spirit. I basically self-crafted this out of a blue base. And you want to use the rune with 20% to all res for 10 to all maximus res. So that's going to be the rune of the prism. It's fairly cheap. And, you know, in the beginning, it's really hard to fix resistance. So it's really great to fix resistance because I don't get to like 75% yet at all. And I also completely ignore chaos res. Then we have the Coward's Legacy here, which enables our low life tech. So basically, since our Ascendancy reserves 25% of our health, we basically count as low life or low life all the time. And this enables some tech behind it and will enable some more tech in the near future. It can potentially, for example, give you 10% more movement speed on your boots if you have the rune, but it's fairly expensive. It's like 1.5 divine right now. And then for rings, I really just use maximum life mana. And I bought relatively cheap rings here, and mine ended up being pretty good, but I put the maximum mana from the perfect rune of the mind, I think it is, on it. Same with the other one. It's, you know, just maximum life mana, care speed, and then last but not least for the amulet, I'm just opted for like, you know, 2 spell skills, increased maximum mana, and, you know, all the other stats are bonus here. You don't have to get the increased maximum mana. It makes it pretty expensive. You can also just use a +2 all spell skills, you know, with some plus mana in the prefix. It probably even gives more mana than this one here if you just have plus mana in the prefix. But this has 51 flat energy shield, which also gets converted into mana. But, you know, that's pretty much all the gear. It's not very special. It's decent gear, but, you know, nothing too crazy at all. Charms, I didn't even look at them yet. I don't really care. I have to probably put like a stun charm and like a freeze charm and stuff like that. But I didn't handle it yet. As for the life flask, I don't really care. It's just a random life flask. I don't really use it. For mana flask, it's relatively important to have increased amount recovered and more charges. It's nice for bosses. But I might swap also to like an instant flask here. I'm not entirely sure. But that's pretty much the entire gear we use right now. Alright, looking at the passive tree, you can see I don't even have my third ascendancy yet, so I'm basically just going to the spirit node here directly. If I am not too lazy and I get the next one, I would get demon form, and this one would be the force when we actually transition into crit, but the next one I would get would actually be demon form here. And yeah, we just, you know, pass over, get some spell damage basically in weapon set 1 here. On weapon set 2 I have the exposure and the curse stuff, so this is all pretty standard stuff. Weapon set 1 I have the shock magnitudes here. Then I have the totem life here. I don't even know if it does something, but I want to go back here maybe for the 12% cast speed. Then here on top we have the low life cast speed. So basically this gives us 20% cast speed when we're on low life, right? Increased mana cost of skills, we don't really care. So we basically just pick up the bunch of cast speed here. And we pick up Mind Over Matter, which I don't really like because the 50% less mana recovery rate really hurts a lot. So probably in the future it will be more like a hybrid approach with, you know, some mana before life. But, you know, this is what I'm running right now. Then again, weapon set 2 curse. We have all the lightning stuff here. We have the chain for lightning here, and, you know, all the mana stuff. So this is all pretty standard stuff. And then also we run Eldritch, which doubles our cost. Not a big deal on the totems. some int here, skill effect duration, and projectile speed. And then we go back into like efficient inscriptions. This is a pretty long way for this node, so this would probably be a good anoint, but it's very expensive. Also, like the resonance from nothing is very expensive, so I don't really like this at all. Maybe this can be swapped off. I have to, calculate the spirit cost again, but this is probably one of the first things I will swap off here. And then as for the jewel slots, I basically use skill effect duration, magnitude of shock ones, all the other stats are bonus. And then right now I use 2, increased totem placement speed and elemental damage. These were also pretty cheap because totem placement speed is just so freaking slow. So later on, with some more skill points, unfortunately all the totem placement speed nodes are like over here, right? So it's relatively far away from the starting area, so I'm not sure if we will ever get there or if we will just fix it with jewels. So that's all in the open, but that's what I'm running right now so far. It's doing pretty decent. I just want to make a quick update here. Not much around it. You can check it out on stream, and I will have a final guide for you very soon. So that's already it. So next up is still coming the showcase where I did this with really shitty gear, so you really don't need any good gear at all. You can also watch it if you don't want to. At this point, thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys next time. So I want to show you that this actually works with crap gear as well. So this is my gear. This is pretty much the gear I got when coming out of the campaign. So as you can see, completely random helmet, completely random gloves, completely random boots. Just, some spirit amulet with some stats, random rings with a little bit of chaos speed and some mana rack, really nothing special. The chest piece is, level 65 with 51 spirit and, no noticeable stats at all. Coward's Legacy, I don't even using it right now. I just use it for the execute support, but you don't really need it. And the only good thing I have is the stuff. I mean, this is not really a good stuff, but this is decent stuff. It has a lot of spell damage and +5 lightning skills. And on the weapon swap, basically, I just have like something similar with Sigil of Power. So this is like very, 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 very basic gear. Skill tree, as you already saw, like we have like all this lightning stuff going on here in the skill tree still, because we didn't make a switch yet. And for my jewels, I just have elemental damage totem placement speed here right now. Just make it a little bit more smooth. This can definitely be optimized a lot. So nothing really special here. These all cost like literally nothing. And so we just do it with a random waystone, like this one here, just random yellow waystone, and I just put 2 random tablets. Again, I don't really have anything optimized yet, but just want to show you that, with this crap gear and like minus resistances pretty much, except for fire, no chaos res whatsoever. A little bit of energy shield, a little bit of life, but nothing special. So this can easily do like tier 7, tier 8 maps or higher. So it's absolutely no problem actually. And again, not even having my third ascendancy point, right? I'm like super, super slow. And we can just move through. As long as we don't encounter like any very strong rares, we don't really have to do anything at all. No, just move forward. Drop the totems, just walk. And just, use Sigil, use Mana Tempest on cooldown. Use Convalescence when your energy shield drops low, so as soon as I get like a bigger, I just drop like Cursed Exposure once in a while. Don't even have to do it with every like rare, but sometimes, they are a little bit stronger. So it's easier if you just, drop some stuff on them. And yeah, so this is the very easy version. You can see like this is Breach. Sometimes you get hit. But for like the amount of investment I have right now in this build, this works absolutely great. And again, it can be optimized like obviously much further. The next round of gear purchasing will have like much more life and much more mana on it. So we will get much more damage out of Archmage. Again, right now we can only drop 2 totems. So as soon as we get like another, whatever, it may be, 1000 life or something like that, just from simply from gear. we can all of a sudden drop like 4 totems, which is essentially just going to double our damage there. You know, the Archmage scaling will give us much more damage. So. Yeah, so these breach mobs are strong at times. But you know, I'm like not even optimized at all. Like I'm just randomly going through here, right? There's even another breach in here. But yeah, it's basically you just place your totems in front of you. Because we have like the lot of totem placement speed. He's actually plays pretty fast. And obviously our movement speed is not good. We don't even have boots or anything optimized. No rune in the boots. Again, no resistances. Just walking through here. So I guess we're gonna find the boss soon. There it is. For the boss, it's pretty easy. You know, we just go in there. I don't even know what boss is here. Or the pirate guy. Drop sigil. Make sure the totems are in the sigil. I don't even know if they have to be, but... I mean, this is, like, with 2 totems on the boss, this is, like, fairly weak, obviously, still. So, you suffer the most on the bosses with the less totems. But, you know, this is, like, basically the, you know, with absolute crap gear, like tier 7 map, with 4 mods and, you know, tablets and stuff like that. So, absolutely no issue. So, you can trust me, the build is gonna be easily, on a budget, also clearing higher content.